Hi, it's Chris and Susan Beasley, and we're here today with Matt Morris. We've flown all the way from London to Dallas, Texas. And if you don't know Matt, he's going to tell you a little bit about himself in a moment, but he is the author of The Unemployed Millionaire, and this is a pretty awesome book. So Matt, thank you so much for being here and allowing us to ask you a few questions. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I can. Well, I guess you described me as kind of a serial entrepreneur since I was about 18 years old. I got into network marketing for most of my adult life. I've been involved in the network marketing industry. When I was 18, I was in college and had a cute waitress ask me if I ever thought about being in business for myself, and I wanted to build rapport with her. So I said, yeah, all the time. And so she said, well, great, now give me your phone number. And so I quickly gave her my phone number, and she said, I'll call you and we'll talk business sometime. And I was definitely ready to talk business. So she called me a couple days later and invited me to the Hilton Hotel one night. I thought, oh, it sounds pretty good to meet her at the Hilton Hotel. So I showed up, and unfortunately there was a room full of people wearing suits. And a guy got on the board and he started drawing circles.
Absolutely, yes, I use
that. So I got amazingly excited, and so I've just never left network marketing since I was 18. I'm 36 years old now, so it's been 18 years in the industry. And so first 5 years I was the ultimate failure. I realized what not to do. And
I think everybody goes through that process.
So it's
every entrepreneur. We're probably like you. We're serial entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We've always had our own business. I don't know, since 1985 I had my first business, but you have to go through the. I don't know, we call it the grind. You have to go through the hard bits sometimes before you actually learn the real good bits.
I always, in my trainings, I talk about you've got to dig a really deep foundation if you want to build a really tall building. And so it's not so easy when you're going through the digging of the foundation. You're like, okay, I'm deep enough. It's time to start building up. So anyway, over the years, I kind of figured it out. Lived out of my car for a period of time. When I was 21, I actually took a job selling swimming pools in Louisiana, the hottest part of the U.S., and July and August, the two hottest months. And so I learned all kinds of interesting things being homeless. So, decided, actually I got laid off from my corporate job when I was about 22 years old. And I got mad enough to finally decide never again am I going to let someone else control my financial destiny. So I decided to get back into network marketing and actually have a criteria to evaluate the company. And ended up, finding a company that, really some great mentorship, and went from having no success over 5 years in network marketing to within 2 years building a team of about 10,000 people. And going from earning, I was actually working as a waiter at Saltgrass Steakhouse, making about $300 or $400 a week, to about 6 months later earning about $10,000 a week. So total life shift in a big way. So that's when I was 24, 25 years old, and so the last 10, 11 years now, 12 years or so has been full-time in network marketing. And so it's been a heck of a ride. I've been able to build organizations of over 250,000 people and all over the world, and it's been a heck of a ride. I've spoken to audiences in about 20, 25 countries, something like that. So it's been fun, amazingly fulfilling.
So, we know that you are the #1 earner in WorldVentures. So, can you tell us a little bit about why you actually chose WorldVentures as your main network marketing opportunity?
Would love to. A few different things, and I've done several different type products and different companies over the years. And I got to tell you, the thing that really attracted me to WorldVentures was that it was travel. It was fun. And I had actually done travel and network marketing years before. Unfortunately, it was a company that owners had never done network marketing before. The company definitely didn't meet the criteria. But it was by far the most fun I had ever had in network marketing. And I remember I was earning a six-figure income, and my mom asked me if I was happy. And she was like, I know you're doing all this business, but are you happy? She was worried about me. And I said, Mom, if I was making $30,000 a year and just getting by, it would be a dream lifestyle. Because I'm talking about something that's just so much fun. And I think, my kind of philosophy, on life is just life is all about chasing peak experiences. At the end of my life, I want to be able to look back on my life and say, man, I really went for it and I had an amazing time, I had tons of fun, and I really lived this life of fun, freedom, and fulfillment. And of all the products that I could market, travel meets that more than anything else I can imagine. And so it's travel. We get in WorldVentures, what I've seen and been able to through amazing leadership within my organization, build a team of about a little over 100,000 people in less than 4 years. So it's been an amazing growth curve. 100,000 in 4 years was like I never imagined years ago that I'd ever have 100,000 total in anything, and to do that in 4 years has been amazing. But we get people who normally would never do network marketing in a million years, but they'll do this because it's travel, because it's fun, because of the culture that we create. And so, number one, it's travel. And that's the number one of all of, if in my organization, if I ask all the different leaders and so forth, why did you pick WorldVentures? They're going to say, it's travel, it's fun. It's different. It's unique. I think that's what people really want, is something that's unique and different. And then the size of the industry was big for me. You look at everything that's ever been sold in network marketing, travel's bigger than, most of everything combined. You got to, depending on the numbers that you see, anywhere from 6.3 to $8 trillion a year spent on travel. It's massive, and really no competition. We are by far the largest travel network marketing company in the world. So far ahead of number 2, we don't even know who number 2 is. That's how much WorldVentures is the running giant in the travel space, and that kind of leads me to my second criteria point. And this was something I really never imagined that I'd have, but it's to be the running giant, or to be part of a company that's the running giant for their industry in network marketing. And so if you look, I believe history repeats itself. And so, you look at Avon. Avon was the running giant in cosmetics. No one's ever been able to come close. They do about $11-12 billion a year in cosmetics. Mary Kay, they're doing amazing, $4 billion, but nowhere close. Amway, they're the running giant in home care products. No one's ever come anywhere close. They're doing about $1 billion a month right now in revenues, created so many millionaires we can't even count. Herbalife and weight loss, they're a running giant. No one's ever come close in the weight loss market. And so travel, we got the biggest industry in the entire world, and we're the running giant. No one else, even now, we're a young company. We're only about 7 years old, so it's a baby, just starting the international expansion and all this. And anyway, to be the front runner is just an amazing thing. So that's kind of the second thing. The third thing is something that I think is maybe the most important for whatever company that you are wanting to get started in and join. You've got to have a company that has a culture of amazing training. Because most people are getting involved in network marketing, they haven't done it before, or maybe they have done it and they haven't had a whole lot of success. And that's what was always lacking for the companies that I was involved in. And I, through many, many years of struggle and becoming a speaker and all this, I learned how to be able to get on stage and motivate and speak to where people are just going to buy, a high percentage of people are going to buy when I speak and so forth. But I would always have to do the training. It was okay. I've got to put on the Super Saturday, and I've got to do the training events and all this. It's like, wow, I just want to build my business. I don't want to have to do all the the operations and the logistics behind putting the events together. And so WorldVentures, my first company was Amway. And
that's the same as us, actually.
Yeah,
we started.
Yeah. But most people who were part of Amway, they'll all admit it was amazing training.
It was
great training, and so WorldVentures, we are, if you talk to the founders of the company, they'll always say WorldVentures is a personal development company disguised as a travel company.
We've heard that too.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
And so we do just flat out unbelievable events. I mean, I don't believe there's another company that does training events as powerful as what we're doing. And so people come into our events, which we do all over the world. We do all across Europe, we've got them in Asia and Africa, all across the US. And so people come into our training events and they come out ready to run through a brick wall to build the business because the event was so good. It taught them what they needed in order to go out and actually have success. And so that's, I mean, I just think industry-wide, that's probably one of the biggest missing elements.
And I think what you just said there also is that because WorldVentures holds them around the world, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You haven't got to travel to the US
exactly
to do it.
Yeah. In fact, we're about to, next month, we've got a big event in Barcelona. So we just did an event at the end of the year in Nice, France.
Yes.
My buddy John, one of the top leaders on my team, he's actually right now in Zimbabwe, or actually South Africa. He did an event in Zimbabwe and South Africa. So all over the world. It's amazing. And then the other thing, obviously, all this is great, but you got to get paid. So compensation plan is amazingly important. So you've got to be part of something that's really going to pay you for your time and your effort. And so WorldVentures, amazing compensation plan. The company's paying out around about 60% of the revenues that are coming in are being paid back out to us in the field. And so you think about a company in the biggest industry in the world that goes on to be what I think will be a multi-billion-dollar a year company, simply because we're in the biggest industry there is, and we're the biggest company in the industry. And so that's important because you got 60% of the revenues being paid out. And so unlike a lot of the companies that market physical products, they've got the bottle that they have to, there's a cost for the bottle, there's a cost for the shipping of the bottle, and it's not, I know the shipping costs get passed on, but you've got a fulfillment center, you've got a warehouse, you got to pay for, that building, you got to pay for the employees there, you got to pay for there's a lot of moving parts. Where WorldVentures, we're a membership, a services type product, so we don't have all the hard fixed costs on delivering the physical product. So the company can afford to pay out a lot more than what most other companies can afford to pay out.
Yeah.
And then last criteria point, and this is another thing. This is what caused me to go from no success in network marketing to having a lot of success in network marketing, was the right team and the right mentorship. See, in many cases, I would join a company and it was so far up to get to someone who was making any money. Maybe they were retired, they weren't doing anything in the business. It was like, man, I really want to get mentorship from someone who's making money, but they made money 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I can't get any time. And so with this, number one, getting mentorship. Actually, my first mentor in network marketing, it's the reason why I went from no success to huge success, is a guy named Wayne Nugent. He's the co-founder of WorldVentures.
Yeah.
And so it was neat now going from, I'd been a top earner and actually owned my own network marketing company in the past, where getting involved in WorldVentures, it's being able to actually get my mentorship again, directly from the owners of the company who have been there, they've done that, they've made millions of dollars in network marketing. And so having a strong team and strong mentorship, someone like yourselves who have had huge success before, someone who can plug directly in with you, wow, their chance of success is so much higher simply because they've got someone who knows how to do it, who's done that. And so going back to, the concept of modeling, if you want to have big success, find someone who's had the kind of success that you want. Figure out how they did it, do the same thing, and you can get the same result if you're willing to do what they've done. Yeah. So that's probably the final thing for me, is just the right team and the right mentorship. It's very, very important to make sure you're joining with a team that knows what they're doing, has proven track record of success.
Well, I guess the reason we chose WorldVentures is actually being completely explained for the same reason that you've explained as well.
It's quite amazing because Susan and I mean, just to give a bit of background of us, I mean, our professional background, if you like, is accountants and management consultants. But 3 years ago, we decided we'd been tied to the UK for so long because we were doing a successful business. It was all effectively still time for money, too much client time. So we made this big decision one day that we were going to just get out of it. We were going to go and work from home. We were going to find a business that we could work. We decided to go and work online because it allowed us to fulfil our passion for travel, funnily enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strange coincidence, that really.
One of our passions is actually skiing, and we have a lovely house in the mountains in France, which we were lucky to see 4 days a season.
That doesn't work.
That didn't work for us. So we made this big decision to get out. And like everybody, we started part-time. You have to start this thing part-time.
Yeah.
And we don't encourage anybody to start a new business unless they have some sort of financial backing or they've got another job. And at the end of that's where most people start. And so we started this, and we set ourselves a target of 6 months. We said in 6 months we're going to be doing this full-time. And that's exactly what we did. We worked hard, and nobody's saying that you can start a business that doesn't involve hard work.
Sure.
I mean, that's the way it is. But the rewards are fantastic. So that's where we went. And for the last 2.5 years, we've been building an affiliate business. We've done lots of training.
Love training. Absolutely love training.
We've done a lot of travelling as well. But we got to the point in our business where we actually wanted to start another income stream, because we're firm believers in multiple income streams. And so we've been looking for a network marketing business because, as you said earlier, we started in Amway, and whilst Amway wasn't successful for us,
caught the dream.
Yeah. The training was awesome.
The training was awesome.
Absolutely awesome. And I love the products, I have to say.
Yeah.
But we did, we set ourselves a set of criteria, and I think, the first one of those criteria was product.
Yeah.
And the product had to be a product that was in high demand and that people would love, and people also wouldn't mind recommending.
Sure.
And travel just hit that nail right on the head. And the other part of the product was that it had to be service based, because we didn't want to end up with a garage full of product thinking, how are we going to sell this stuff? Who's going to buy it? No, we just didn't want to go there.
And I guess you guys are exactly the same watching this video right now. You're thinking, I don't want to do that.
No. And I think the other thing about the product is it has to be a service that could be delivered by somebody else. So we didn't want to get involved in buying it and then delivering it and collecting money and all that. Realistically, not only do we not want it, but I think your clients, they just want to nowadays want to be able to go online and research it or buy it.
Yeah.
Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we all do. So that was our sort of product criteria and research, wasn't it?
Definitely. And so it just totally ticked all the boxes for us, and particularly our passion for travel.
Yeah.
And I think this, looking around the world and listening to what people are saying, Matt, they want to travel more. Yeah. And they want to travel more not just because of the physical travel, but because of the memories that it gives them, and that they can hand down through their families, through their kids, and they can talk about it and talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's experiences, in our opinion, are what matter to people, really and truly.
I think also, just to go back to our criteria, I mean, we wanted to make sure we were working with an established company, and it's not just a company that's been around for a few years, but one that's financially secure, because that is really, really important. So they're going to be around for the future, and also forward thinking, so they're actually thinking about where are we going next. And I mean, we know through talking to you that the management are really strong.
Amazingly progressive company. In fact, I've been amazed because in many cases in the past, it's like I would have to go to the company and say, all right, you should implement this, you should do this, and it's a lot of, it's been true for a lot of, different companies I've been in, and in WorldVentures, they keep rolling out things, and if I do give them an idea, they say, well, that's great, but we're going to do this and make it better. In fact, with our BMW promotion, we as leaders, we kind of masterminded on a car promotion, and then we gave it, talked to the company about it, and they got all excited, and they put it together, and they made it way better than what we had even planned. It's we say, hey, we want this, and they say, we want this, and they give you this. So it's made very progressive. And I love the whole thing about, the dream, the lifestyle and the experiences. What was really clear to me in looking at WorldVentures is, I look at the network marketing industry, why I chose WorldVentures. Could have done, just about anything. Well, what's the number one reason why people do network marketing to begin with? And it's to fulfill their dream, whatever your dream is. And so, number one dream in the world, if you ask most people, if you won the lottery and had all the time and all the money that you wanted, what's the number one thing that you would go do? Guess what most people say they'd go do?
Go on holiday.
Go travel. Go on holiday. Yeah. So what if your product could actually be the number one dream in the world? Pretty awesome.
It's
fantastic. So, no, and I think the last thing that we had, you mentioned world-class training. You mentioned a simple and effective comp plan, so everybody gets paid on time. But what about the community? To us, community is really important.
Yeah, that's huge. In fact, I think community is, if you look at the billion-dollar companies out there, the ones I mentioned, Avon and Mary Kay and Amway and these companies, what they get right is they build a community, and they typically do that through training events. And so the culture of WorldVentures is undeniable. It's amazing. The training events, when people come to our training events, we track the numbers, and we know people are going to make many times more income if they go to our training events. And so obviously that's the logical reason to go, but what happens is people come to our events and they get locked in because the culture is so much fun. And so that's important. So we've modeled billion-dollar companies that are creating great culture through training events, but we've got an unfair advantage that no other company has, because we build culture not just through our training events but also through our products. And so our dream trip is the core of our product, and that's having anywhere from 50, 500, 1,000 members on one trip. You can see some of our dream trip videos. They're amazing. You have the time of your life on the trip. And so people go on the dream trip, and you meet people from all over the country, other countries, all coming in to go to this dream trip together. And so, I think about WorldVentures. We were in Cancun. We had about 2,000 people at one resort. It was all WorldVentures people taking over the resort, and so it's the whole thing of what I've had to create or manufacture on my own in the past was the team that plays together stays together.
Yes, absolutely.
Same as us.
And so that's built in. Our product is that. It's the ultimate culture builder in network marketing. And so I think that's part of the secret sauce behind WorldVentures is the culture. And that's the thing. If you talk to different leaders in WorldVentures that have had success, that's one of the key elements that they'll say is the culture builder.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, so I think the last question there.
The last question.
I think is what type of people? I mean, you've got a huge team. You mentioned 100,000 in 4 years. I mean, what type of people come into your team?
Well, what type of people? Fun people. Well, the tagline for the company is "Make a living living," and so it's not making a living stressing; it's making a living living. And so it's having fun, and kind of the mission of the company is to create more fun, freedom, and fulfillment in people's lives. And so that's the company's mission. So you've got to want more fun, freedom, and fulfillment in your life, and we attract. We attract people who are fun. It's a very fun culture. People who want freedom and who just, ultimately want more out of life.
Yeah.
But in terms of their background, what they've done historically or what they currently do, their job, and that presumably there is a criteria.
I mean, it's the people who typically join WorldVentures, and I learned this from a mentor of mine, Lisa, and we attract typically married people unless they're single. People who live in big cities unless they live in small cities. People who are college educated unless they don't have a college education. People with kids unless they don't have any kids. So everyone. Yeah. Old unless they're young. I mean, yeah, it's everyone. Travel's universal. Everyone loves travel.
Well, thank you, Matt. We really appreciate that. So if what you've heard today really excites you as much as it does us, then we would just like you to click just below this video, and you're going to see another video that Matt has very kindly recorded for us. We know you're going to love it, and we'll see you again.